Hello everyone! Now next, as you can see, we have this hole. Put a coin on top of this and then make a circular shape out of it. Now slowly begin to stitch it according to this line. Add a horizontal line straight through it to begin with. Now as you're doing so, begin to make these vertical stitches onto it based on the horizontal line and the bottom curved line of the circle. Now once you've done with one side, move on to the other side of it as well. Afterwards, take a black thread and then begin to stitch it according to this. Now once you're done stitching it according to this as well, then tie a knot and then cut off the excess. Make this beaded design at the top of it. Make it look like eyes as well. Add the hands and legs on either side of it as well. Now, once you're done with this portion of it, move on to the center and then add little beaded shapes to it to add it into polka dots. Now, this will be the final look. You've made a ladybug. Now as you can see, we have this V-shaped design. Slowly begin to stitch in and then make this horizontal line to it. Now go from one side to the other. It goes wider as you progress with it, as you can see. Continue to do so from one side to the other as well. As you can see, we are going to the edges that does not have a backing as well. Continue to do so, and as you continue to do so, add multiple pearls into one section of it. Now as you add multiple sections of the pearls into it, then draw it inside as such. Let this be it, and then afterwards draw it all tied together and then set it vertically. Next, take this sleeve and then afterwards cut off the bottom of it. Before you do so, add this cloth chalk to it as well. Now thread the needle, fold this over and then afterwards begin to stitch it according to this. As you can see, we'll be making the somewhat diagonal stitch. Continue to go from one side to the other, preferably an entire circle. Now go vertically even though you're making these diagonal stitches onto it. In the front, this is what it'll look like, and then at the back, it'll have a double line stitch. Then make sure that it does not exceed the lines that you are stitching on as such. It should be equal in length, and then do not stitch it too tightly or too loosely as well. This will be the final look of it. Now in order to make this design, as you can see, we have made a double layered flower. Now proceed and then on top of the initial stitching of it which we've already made, then make these stitchings to it as well. Make it like a knotted stitching. Draw it together once you're done with it. Bring it from one corner to the other as such. Now as you're moving from one side to the other, this is what it should look like. Once you're done with it, you may tie a knot to it as well. This will be the final look of it. Now for our next stitching, as you can see, it is the zip. Now draw together at the bottom, and as you can see that there is a lot of gap to it. Bring the thread through from the bottom to the top and then afterwards stitch it onto the other side of the span zip. Continue to make these multiple horizontal stitches. Make sure that it is precise. Go from one side to the other. It is more or less even as you're stitching from the bottom to the top as well. Now as you continue to do it, this is what it should look like. Now make sure that it is neatly put and that it is not seen on the other side of it as well. Once you're done with it, you may draw it tightly together so that the stitching is no longer visible. Now tie a knot to it once you're finally done with it. Now bring it out to the other side before you tie a knot to it as well. Now while you're tying the knot, loop it around multiple times and then pull it through. Now for our next design, we'll start off by cutting out a small portion of the sock. Make this curved cut to it as such. After you do so, then afterwards cut off the top portion of the sock. Once you've cut off the top portion of the sock, then afterwards diagonally cut through it. Once you've diagonally cut through it, insert your hand through it as such. Once you've inserted your hand through it, then you may use the sock as is as well. Thank you for watching.